Okay, this can lead us nicely to number 10. Okay, this is an important one, whether you want it or not. As an artist, if you have no strategy, which means if you don't understand how you're going to tackle the pose, then you have a problem. One problem that can happen is that you're changing ways of drawing every time. So that's why I put no strategy, which is also forgetting what you are doing. Forgetting strategy or changing strategy. And I will explain. For example, we have a pause, 5 minutes, and you say, okay, what do I want from that pause? Okay, hello advertising bots. I love having robots talking, but I prefer humans. If you say, what is your strategy? Well, strategy might be like, I will look at the values. For example, you can start with values. That's not a problem, as long as you know what you're doing. So maybe that's your strategy. Okay, I will block in my pose. I will look at my values. And so you're drawing your figure with your values. Oh, there's a human. Hello. I'm sorry. If it says bot, I assume it's a bot, so I was very confused. Welcome. This is a very human-friendly stream. So I'm super happy that you're joining. And I will be partial to humans probably all my life, especially in the whole AI debacle. How do you say it in English? Debacle. So, values. If you say, I'm going to start with values, that's fine. But if now you start thinking, now I will start going into my gesture. Now you start thinking, okay, maybe I could be more gestural here and here. And then you're like, oh no, where's my light and shadow situation? When you're adding lines, you're adding values. And so you're changing the course of everything. No, keep your name how you want. Absolutely no problem. Everyone is welcome how they are and how they feel. The opposite is very common when people say, okay, I'm going to do the structure, maybe with the blocking of the form. So let's take our sitting figure again. I'm missing a bit of space. I need hips and I need, yes. Okay, they are midway through their structural construction. Very good. We could have a shoulder here. Maybe resting on some armchair. A bit of a big hand here. So they are at this stage of the drawing. And now they're like, oh, you know what? Now I can start shading. But they shade like without any, basically they move from spot to spot and they're like, okay, here's some shadow, here is some shadow, here is some shadow. And then here they say, I'm going to get my eyes like this. So suddenly they go into a symbol mode. For the hands, they will want to define each finger like this. And now we have basically a figure that says, like, is it gestural? Gestural. Or is it structural? Structural. Are you drawing with those lines or are you shading with those lines? Where are your feet? So, you know, maybe you haven't finished here. And I think worst of all for me, oh yes, that will be our 11th one. Symbols. Symbols of the sun. Symbols. When you are drawing an eye like this, you are drawing a symbol, which is fine when you're doing maybe a work with symbols. Maybe you work with sigils. That's fine by me. Maybe you're drawing the eye of Ra, something like that. It's fine by me. But that's because you're doing something on purpose. Sorry. I'm trying to find where you could use those eyes. Here's the eye of providence. So the eye of providence, it's a symbol. It's not an eye. It's an abstracted idea of an eye. When you're drawing a figure, this was about forgetting or changing strategy. I started with a gesture, I moved to some shadow. Here I wanted to define my fingers like an illustration. And here I moved to symbols. No, you need to be consistent. So I will mark that. You can change between poses, but be consistent. So for each sketch, you decide what is it going to be. Is this one going to be about light and shadow? No problem. But then make it about light and shadow. Don't start moving and say, oh, maybe the gesture could be cooler or something. If it's going to be about value, make it about value. If it's going to be about structure, make it about structure.